Hi, Christoph here. Pavlenik had a question in the Bitcoin Design Guide Slack channel about the structure for the whole site and the guide. And I know that's not an easy thing to stay on top of. We have a whole bunch of pages that are not live. We have a whole bunch of pages that are in progress, that are spread across different issues and PRs. And then we have some pages that are really just kind of ideas or discussion points. So I try to put everything here in one page, and here's what I came up with. So it splits things up by community pages. So that's everything outside of the guide. So we have a homepage, bitcoin.design, then the guide page, and that content is further down. We have a contribute page, projects, how to submit a homepage banner, search, and the 404 page. The one page that it's currently an idea is about, and I've asked this a couple times, there's an issue, hasn't really been a lot of, I think there's general interest, but nobody's really put any effort into putting something together for that. So feel free to do so. Once we get into the guide, the getting started section's in pretty good shape. Private key management's pretty good shape. Onboarding is work in progress. Connor and Maggie are working on that. Payments, Johns is working on that with his crew. He has a plan, and you are welcome to review this. This is under discussions. Here's a suggested structure, goes into a lot of detail. Feel free to chime in, and then at some point this has to turn then into a series of pages like this or like this. Then contribute, that one doesn't currently exist. We have a resources section right now that contains content guidelines and formatting, but that's really the wrong name. We should turn this into something that Pavlenik and I had discussed. We should turn this into contribute section and also put in a target audience page, which is a Google Doc. Then also create in illustration guidelines, because there have been questions about illustrations. And then also have a how to submit, and that is more about the process. So you have an idea, you don't know where to start. Should you create a GitHub issue? Should you create a Google Doc? How do you put something out for review? Those types of things could go in here. And those are, both of these pages come from, and also target audience was because somebody said, hey, I need help with this. What should I do here? So I think that kind of makes sense. Then we have unorganized pages. So those are in progress, but there's no clear place to put them. So collaborating on design files. There have been a bunch of discussions around, how we use design tools, how we work with developers and development on design files, how to comment on design, how do I embed it or showcase, how do I get my design files into GitHub, these types of things. And there's a design proposal for that one right now. Node connection options, it's Google Doc. Also came out of discussions. Hardware wallets, that is just a request for a page. So getting more in-depth about the designing hardware wallet interfaces, but also the interactions with hardware wallets. Interoperability is a Google Doc that I'm planning to turn into a page pretty soon. And unique aspects of Bitcoin design is a Google Doc also by Paolo, work in progress right now. I just haven't thought about it too much, but I also don't really see exactly right now where they would fit. I'm sure we'll find a place, just haven't thought about it much. And then ideas for pages. So design, collaboration, open source, that's based on observing the conversation about how do we interact with design projects, what's the role of designers, how do projects adopt a design process. I think we could have a nice content about that. Then principles page, this one also came out of discussion because I think Johns and Daniel ended up having principles sections in what they were working on. Then we thought, why is privacy in the payment section? Isn't that more a general thing that should be considered? So we could extract these different principles into a top level page. Similar for case studies. Daniel had some really good case studies, but there also ended up being a little bit of overlap with with some things I have in the getting started section. And I think John's also noticed that there was some overlap with things he's working on, so we could turn case studies into their own separate sections and then reference them from all these other places. And research, we don't have much about research other than this introduction here in getting started. However, if you value research, we could create a subpage with references that gathers all the best links to all the best research out there, maybe with some highlights. We could explain different techniques and best practices, provide surveys and other tools. If we want research to be a big thing, we should create more content for it. So this is briefly how I see things right now. I don't know exactly what the final structure will be. That's for all of us to figure out. It will change over time, but I hope this provides a good overview for now. Thanks.